Previously on Horribly Off Topic.
Yeah, so I forget what we were talking about.
God damn it. You could have done some highlights there or something.
Yeah, so much has happened in the past week that
I know. It's been a really long time since we.
But it's a good thing that we were all able to come back together into your place
and get to the same level of drunkenness that we were. Well, I'm not drunk at all.
Yeah. I can make you a Midori sour if you'd like.
I gotta drive home afterwards.
I'm not either.
Either?
Disproving his statement even as he says it.
No, I'm...
All right,
so just continue the show, please.
So what we were talking about was the origin story, basically, of how the New Sweethearts happened.
Yes, and the New Sweethearts, I mean, seriously, if you are tuning in now, you should go back.
Who listens to part 2 of a 2-part episode first?
I can listen to last week's episode, but just...
I want to be really confused.
No, I just want to skip through the fluff and just get to the end of it.
Right, so just in case, I want you to know that I'm Chris, and that's Steve, and that's Dan. And Steve and Dan were in a band. It was called and are in a band. It was called
think
the New
technically
Sweethearts.
we still are.
Yeah, because we did just release stuff.
But I thought you were saying before that you prefer TNS now.
I do personally.
I like calling it the New Sweethearts because it's just silly.
Now that I'm older, I don't care either way. I think back when I was younger, I was a little more self-conscious about being in the band.
Yeah,
it's kind of.
I'm gonna jump the gun.
Do you say the word "gay" on the show?
Yes, we do say "gay."
It was kind of a gay name.
And well, the thing is, I think the reason why we went with TNS on the second album was because
the Transformers letters fit perfectly,
and the fact that everybody thought that we were gay because we were in the New Sweethearts.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that.
It's a little bit of a problem.
So you guys are in a band called the New Sweethearts? Yeah. Are you gay?
No.
Well, why not? You're the New Sweethearts.
Get on it. You suck some dick already.
So, last time, just to remind you guys where you were going to tell us how you came to decide to write lyrics to the demo song on the keyboard. Well, is that where we were? I think that's
the first song we had was Hot Pants, which was the title track, right?
Well, no, I don't. Well, wait. What do you mean the first song we had?
The first song we had was
it wasn't the first song we recorded.
The first song we recorded was Chicken. Yeah, it was. I thought it was you and me.
I thought it was just me.
I was there.
You might have been there.
I was there.
I know we needed another microphone and some cables or something for recording. And a bunch of them went off to Music Max?
No, it was Dad. No, it wasn't.
No, the one that Freeman worked at.
No.
Music Mall, Music Max?
Music Mall.
It was over the blue building just under
across from the Chelmsford Mall.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
So a bunch of them ran off over there to get some wires and another microphone, I think. Or maybe they went to Radio Shack. That could have been it too.
Yeah.
But anyway... while they were gone, I just stuck the microphone on top of the speaker of the keyboard, pressed a button, and it made a drum beat play, and I just hit random keys, and luckily somehow I came up with a somewhat catchy melody out of it, and that was just it. It was like
Chicken.
I just did it. I'm like, oh, let's keep that.
There's been an incarnation of Chicken in every album we've ever released.
It's become a tradition after... every album has a version of the song Get Federal with Me on it. Mm-hmm. And there was a tradition where before the song Get Federal with Me, there would be a freestyle rap. Unfortunately, Will did not participate in the Ape's Choice, so we were unable to do that this time. But we would do a freestyle rap, then the song, and then afterwards a new version of Chicken. The original was Chicken. The second one was Turkey. The new one is Rooster, and if there was going to be a fourth one, which I don't think there will be, it was going to be Cock.
I think that's reason enough right there for there to be a fourth one.
Who knows? Well,
I'm not gonna rush you guys. You just put out some. When did Ape's Choice come out?
I thought we were talking about the origins of the...
It's fine. We're
off topic. It's horribly off topic.
Drink.
The Ape's Choice came out in April?
Yeah, it was earlier this
Okay.
Early
year.
spring.
Cool. All right, back to the story. I'm sorry, I will
So yeah,
not get tangential on you.
I was nearby at least
Yeah.
when Chicken was recorded, which was the first thing the New Sweethearts ever recorded, which is fitting because you and I are the only ones that are kind of left.
I remember how it worked now. When we decided that we were going to actually try to make music, I believe we all had a free period together, and we all just kind of assigned
Songs
to each other. Like,
Ah,
I don't know, we came up with a bunch of song titles, and we just kind of figured out, I'll write that one, I'll write that one,
I
I'll
think
write
that's the
that
most
one.
fun part. I actually have a text file somewhere full of song titles.
I
So, yeah,
still
we-
have all of our original lyric sheets.
Oh, nice. That's see,
Because Dan is the
I
New
keep
Sweethearts
I
historian.
keep stuff like that.
let me just get, like, I wish that I kept more stuff. I keep a lot of stuff, but sometimes I wish that I kept more stuff. Every once in a while I go through a period where I just I'm like, I got too much shit, I gotta throw it out.
I do that too. I love doing that.
Yeah.
I
Look,
love getting new stuff, but I love getting rid of
Purging
crap
is
too.
really fun.
Yeah.
Like I've done it a lot lately because like I've toned or like not toned down. I've kind of like
Condensed.
Yeah, I've condensed my living arrangements like
Yeah.
over time,
Yeah.
and now I'm living in a studio, so it's just like I gotta
Yeah.
I have all these magic cards and I want to get rid of, and I'm like I'm gonna go.
Are any of them
breaks.
good?
Some of them are, I guess.
I don't know.
I have
Could
complete.
you sell them to Patalis or something?
I don't know if Dave will want them. I don't know.
Whoa.
Crap.
So now we know his full identity.
Whoops. Whatever. He doesn't listen.
So you have Chicken. Chicken's your first song, but people have been assigned other songs.
Yeah,
like
so
so
we-
people are working on stuff.
Yeah, we all wrote lyrics at the same time.
And then we I think I think I remember writing mine in it was geometry class. No. It was trig.
Trick.
I was writing because
You could have just said
what-
during class, and that would have been okay.
No, I remember it was Mr. Pollard's trig class, and I sucked ass at it. So I was just gonna write TNS songs instead. I'm like, why am I taking trig? I don't know shit about math. Why am I in this fucking class?
What song was it? Do you remember?
I know I wrote all my songs in that class.
In the same day?
Yeah.
You could tell.
I wrote Crown It, which was one of the better songs
Yeah.
that I wrote.
It was so good that I felt that we did not need to remake it for the Ape's Choice. It was
Yeah.
perfect the way it was.
And then I wrote The Hat's Coming Off, which was a bunch of yelling.
and not just yelling words, but yelling noises. So
What else did I write on that album?
Hat's Coming Off.
That was the one I just said.
Hat's Coming Off, Crown It, and There Goes a Hot One.
Yeah, which we that was the original like slew of songs we remade. That were actually not slew. There was 2 songs that we remade originally, which was the original title track, Hot Pants,
Yeah.
and There Goes a Hot One. There goes
Hot
a hot. There goes a hot one.
We know who's more drunk here.
Whatever.
Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I hope that Jamie is going to be driving to the maze.
Probably.
Yeah, so you had those 3. How many did you have?
I think we all did about 3.
Yeah, I think 3
I
each.
did Dan Crapper's Crapper. I did Trash Water, and I did help me out here. Get Fertile with Me.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think so. And then Garen did Big Pile of Loser.
Yeah. He did Hot Pants. He
Hot
wrote
Pants, the title track. He did Hot Pants, and
I'm sure there was another one.
what the hell was the last one?
Yeah.
Probably something.
Yeah.
Will did Bill Bent. He did Vampires, Dragons, and Programming, which is roughly about somebody that you might know, Chris.
Wait.
Scary gothic dude.
Gotcha.
Paul did Furs Poe,
Yes.
and
Which was actually really all right for the first album.
yeah. Did he do any others?
He did Be My Special Concubine.
Oh yeah.
Which on the first album,
amazing.
on the first album, we
I think that is the worst piece of music ever committed to tape or hard drive or whatever you want to call it.
That is saying something.
Because like we were like like the plan was for it to be.
It was supposed to sound like a boy band. Which, to people with no musical means or ability or anything, how are you going to pull that off?
Well, the opening track of the first full-length Pop Bubblegum Trash album was a song called, originally, Justin Timberlake is My Hero, and had to be changed to Justin is My Hero, because on mp3.com you were not allowed to game the system.
You were afraid that Phil Collins would hear it.
No. I submitted it. I submitted it as Justin Timberlake was my hero, and they sent me back a message saying you cannot call it that because that's gaming the system.
So then my later on Dern song, I Want to Shoot Bob Saget, probably wouldn't have flown too well.
Anyway, so I did the boy band thing, and I remember doing it.
We didn't do the boy band thing.
You didn't do the boy band thing.
We kind of did with.
It was above what we could.
Okay, so like it was basically a song and I suppose it's sort of meta when you go back and look at it. It's a guy that's running a harem, who's jealous that one of his whores is like. Or I don't know.
Fucking a boy band?
No, I don't know. Like that she left.
I don't know.
That he somehow let her leave. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, because in this situation,
I never really paid much attention to the lyrics at all until we tried to record the new version recently. So I don't know. And it's funny because I'm the one that did the vocals on the original version, which we'll get to in a second.
which ended up being very death metal-y, if you want to call it.
That's what it was supposed to be. What we ended up doing was we just had the pre-programmed keyboard drum track.
It was like
we turned the tempo up as fast as it would go.
Yeah.
And the guitar part was, I think it was just me. I don't know how to play guitar. I just hit strings as noisily as I could. However, that's not even reflected due to our great production. Like, you can barely even hear there's guitar at all. And I do the typical death metal Cookie Monster voice.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely no rhythm, no rhyme or reason to it. It's just...
And in the middle of it...
structure to it at all.
In the right in the middle of the song is Chicken Limbo.
Remember that game?
No. It was a
limbo game with a chicken.
So basically, the chicken's legs were the limbo bars, and then you had the limbo under the chicken, and the chicken's feathers. If you hit them, it would go. Bark, 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 I got you. And so, but like in between that time, it would go. Bark, 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 bark.
Yeah, it had a little chicken limbo too.
And then the ad, it was like Chicken Limbo's the one for big fun. So like being like people that were like grown, like in their later teen years.
Right.
Like the only way we could play Chicken Limbo is if we put it on two chairs, because we're not children.
We're not the target audience.
But my favorite story is like how we came across Chicken Limbo, or how we came about it.
I don't know this. Will bought it.
Yeah, Will bought it, but like
Why?
So we were at Yucko's house. And people had given us money to go and get food.
It's like Dumb and Dumber when he sends them out just to get the essentials.
So we went to the Pheasant Lane Mall
to get food.
To get food. And then we were at the KB Toys. And we saw Chicken Limbo.
Food, Chicken Limbo.
And so
there wasn't even a Target at that point at the Pheasant Lane
It was
Mall.
Lechmere.
no, we went to the toy store.
I know, but there's what I'm saying is there wasn't any place to buy food except at the food
At the
court.
food court.
No.
So
the designated area for.
So
Are we sure I haven't been drinking?
yeah, you're drinking water. You got water.
Dasani is not spiked. All right, so you went to
We were at KB Toys and Will's like, I'm buying Chicken Limbo with this money that they gave us for food. And then we went and we went to like Market Basket afterwards, and we bought like spaghetti with the rest of the money.
And I'm sure I don't remember this. I don't know if I was there or not, but I'm sure when you came back with Chicken Limbo, nobody was disappointed.
I think there was one or two people that we may have wrote about in a TNS song that was upset that we basically stole their money and bought a shitty game with it.
That's a TNS song?
We might have referenced him in Dildogram.
Oh, okay. But we didn't reference that specific event in the song, just the person.
Yeah, just the person.
It's the person. Okay.
I think he provided most of the money that we didn't buy food with.
Oh, that poor kid.
Dildogram is on the first album or the second
album?
Second album. Okay. I was gonna say we haven't gotten there yet.
No,
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, we're in the midst of
We're
the TNS.
We're still in the midst of.
Although we have been
pants.
skipping all over the place.
Well, we're getting horribly off topic.
Burp, derp, derp.
I haven't done any like.
Foley artist.
That doesn't make any sound.
You didn't write notes before we started. I didn't think we needed to. Though.
I don't think we do. I think you guys have enough material, as Dan pointed out. We could probably go
for 3 hours. Yeah.
3 hours.
So yeah, that's how we got Chicken Limbo, and that's how it's in the middle of the worst song that we probably have.
But did we?
But does that not make it worth it to go through that song just to hear Chicken Limbo?
No, because it's in the new version that we recorded.
Did we decide? All right, no matter how this song turns out, Chicken Limbo is in this song, or did we decide like this song is so bad it needs Chicken Limbo in it?
I think it might have been
which came first, the Chicken Limbo or the egg?
It is an egg. It's a rotten egg. That
song. See, look at you. You're making jokes.
I'm trying.
You're not over explaining them.
I'm trying.
You're doing good.
All right.
I get signal. Main screen, turn on.
What happened?
I got a text.
Nice. Let's bring it into the show.
We got to remember we get emails at the end of this.
We do have to do emails at the end. So
we still have plenty of time. I'm just saying.
So who was left? Tsubasa had a couple of songs.
Yeah, we kind of let him do his own thing because he could actually kind of play guitar. He was just beginning guitar, but
he could play.
Musically, he was at a totally
he could also
different
play
level
the piano somewhat, and so there was songs that we had that weren't like the stock beat from the
Casio.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, we have a reggae
Casio
song.
Was it, by the way? It wasn't.
Was it Garen's?
I thought it was Will's.
Oh, it was Will's. Okay.
I was gonna say John and I, my brother and I had a Casio, and I wondered if
it was actually a Yamaha.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was a Casio.
It was a Yamaha.
Well, we did use a Casio, so that was Garen.
Garen had one too.
Okay.
But that was the one we used for a lot of the canned goods that we had in Psycho's Bar Mitzvah that I guess we'll get to.
Yeah. All right. So, where was the recording done? It was on a computer.
The first
you guys mentioned that in the previous episode.
Paul's Basement is where most of the first album was recorded. In fact,
I think all of it.
Except for, I think, Chicken.
No, that was Paul's Basement.
I thought we recorded that at Garen's house.
No, I'm almost positively.
I thought it was on his Casio that was recorded.
I remember being in Paul's basement. That's when he had the TV was over by the stairs, and I remember having the keyboard on the coffee table.
All right.
Doing it. And remember, I would put the amp at the bottom of the stairs, and
we'd yell up
at John.
We'd all yell up.
Yeah, that's I
Gotcha.
do remember that.
I wrote a story that's set in Paul's basement. It's not really set in Paul's basement.
Were you ever there?
But,
he was friends with John back in the day.
Yeah, Paul's older brother.
What era are we talking about?
That I was there. Oh god.
Because like the first time I was ever at Paul's house, I went with you and
me and my brother
and John.
Yeah.
Because you were good friends with Sean too, right?
I was.
Which is how I met Paul, through Sean.
Yeah, John, Paul's brother. There's too many Johns. Paul's brother John and I first met in 6th grade. No, wait. Yeah, 6th grade. First year at McCarthy, and I started going over there fairly frequently. It was the first he had a computer before we did, long before we did. So I remember going over there, and I remember there even being
Well, you guys
sometimes
had a tandy.
we did, but I remember there even being sometimes when like I was still in John and Paul's computer room or whatever, like way upstairs.
Did you play
And-
Pirates? I love that game on the computer.
I can't remember. But I remember there'd be times I'd be up there by myself. I feel like there was a time I was up there by myself. Anyway, and yes, I was friends with Sean. And oh God, there's never been occasion for me to even like ever bring this story up because it's. I went and saw.
Just do it. Just say it.
We John and Sean and me went and saw Tango and Hooch. Like to like give you the time frame, and I'm pretty sure we all slept over at John and Paul's house, and I'm pretty sure I could be wrong about this, that we all like slept in the same like big bed. Like it was just I'm
Was there
pretty sure.
spooning? Was there a little bit of spooning?
I don't know, but that memory stuck in my. There wasn't.
That memory would haunt me too. Like,
If I had Sean's boner poking at me.
that would definitely ruin me for many years.
I'm pretty sure that this happened because years later, when I was writing a pivotal scene in what is my novel, I basically I switched genders and made something happen where something didn't.
I'm starting to feel
Who became
uncomfortable here.
Yeah. No, I just took the situation. None of the
The
characters.
guy from the Jersey Shore.
Anyway, so yes, around the time of Tango and Hooch,
Well, I don't know what you. I'm just wondering if the time that you were hanging out with John a lot over there overlapped with when I was
when you were
hanging
over there
out with Paul.
I think you might have.
Now, do you remember that you and I were actually pretty good friends in second grade in Miss Denatalie's class?
I don't remember.
And we were in
I
the
can't-
same Tiger Cubs
I can't
together.
ever remember who my second
With
grade-
his dad as your scout leader?
Probably.
maybe.
I have a really ridiculous memory for things like that.
I have a ridiculous memory too, but then it's starting to fail on me in particular
Because of all the water you're drinking.
because of all the water I'm drinking as I get old. I remember the middle school stuff. I feel like we must have been there at the same time. But I don't remember.
He was too cool for you at that point.
No, I was not cool.
I
but
was not cool.
You did have a stellar mullet. back then.
I moved to Westford for a few years, and then I went to Arizona for 1 year, and then for 6th grade I came back, and things had changed, and
Not for the better.
It was a rough time.
Yeah.
Trying to find an identity, I guess.
Well, that's the worst time in your life. Is like the
It's-
6th,
yeah,
7th, 8th grade.
It really was for me, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's middle school is I don't.
I
look
was
forward to having
sweatpants kid, so like
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't actually get.
And
beat
I don't remember this specifically, but I get this horrible feeling that you might have been one of the people that, in order to try to build myself up and impress other people, that I might have given you a hard time. And
You might have, a lot
and
of.
if I did, I apologize.
I
for
don't.
that.
I honestly don't.
'Cause I know
Look at this. We're talking about bullying.
I
That's
know.
a relevant
It
subject.
is.
I know John was somebody that I was not nice to back then, and I feel so bad about that.
Yeah, John, my brother, or John
No,
Paul's.
Paul's brother.
Yeah, he. Both of us, I think. I think that might have been how we bonded. I think we both got shit on a little bit.
Yeah, eventually that's pretty much how I bonded with Sean also.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, at some point I just realized, like, all right, I'm like, I'm like the guy that people...
Well, maybe this will make you feel... and we got to get back to TNS. That's the topic.
We don't have to. Like,
Well, but so one of the weirdest things that's happened to me in recent years, and of course it's been a long time now, is the day that Michael Jackson died. Anyway, that has nothing to do with it, except that's how I remember what day that this happened. I hung out with this kid Brendan. I don't know if he wants me to say his last name, but this kid Brendan that I knew.
we can just bleep everybody's name in this episode.
I'm just saying his last name. There's no problem.
What's his last name?
I don't want to bleep anything. You're making more work for me.
Like, I was trying to do one of those, like, I'm drunk, but you're not, but I'm trying to trick you regardless.
But it's possibly, is it somebody that I might know?
You might know, yeah.
So then I won't know unless you...
all right, I'm going to say... God, with 20... I'm not going to remember what time...
Connolly?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so Brendan and I hung out on the day, I think for the first time in years, on the day that later I would find out Michael Jackson had died.
Like in 2009, right? Isn't that when he died?
So yeah, it's 5 years ago now.
That news of his passing eluded you?
The reason I remember what day it was is because I hung out with Brendan, and then I had to go to the airport to pick someone up. And on the ride to the airport, I found out that Michael Jackson died. That's my only frame of reference for when this happened.
And you're like, hi, I'm Robert Siegel. Michael Jackson just died.
No. I hung out with Brendan, and what came up in that conversation with Brendan was that I was, in his mind, and I don't remember this, but in his mind, I was his bully. Like,
What?
I had
Really?
no idea.
You bullied people?
I guess I did. I remembered him from middle school, and then I remember him being way cooler than me in high school. But I thought everyone was way cooler than me in high school. And he would not classify himself as cool, I'm sure. But he had anyway. It was shocked, and I was like, I think we all went through exactly what you're talking about. That period of like, in order to try and get some sort of social status.
Yeah.
We picked on somebody.
You tried to find someone weaker than you.
Yeah. And it's weird to think, like, because you identify yourself so much as a person who was picked on, I think you forget the people you picked on.
Oh.
There was a kid Dave who I remember picking on. So when Brendan told me this, I was like, yeah, it's not outside the realm of possibility that I was someone's bully. It was shocking to me that like that was my memory. That was someone's memory of me. Was that?
Yeah, there was definitely people that I razzed on a regular basis as I got older.
I don't think I ever did it to anybody like trying to be truly malicious, and I never like physically harmed anybody. I just wanted to try to like, maybe if there was like a cute girl over there, I wanted to try to make her laugh or something.
Yeah.
Like, just that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that.
But then you find out later that whatever you did might have been a lot more hurtful than you thought.
Right.
Yeah.
And in fact, the girl might have like laughed nervously and not been impressed at all.
Or just been like, oh, look at those two geeks like trying to pick on each other. Like, I'm a cheerleader.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god. Oh,
If they were to stab themselves to death, I wouldn't even care.
So where were we talking about TNS?
Just how great we thought of each other back then.
No, wait, where were we?
I have no idea.
Well, you guys mentioned all the various songs.
Yeah.
You were talking about where you recorded them. And I think
We recorded most of or in fact, almost I guess all of it.
Yeah. So pretty much the first weekend we pulled an all-nighter Friday. We did probably like 6 or 8 songs or something, like almost half the album, if not half.
Yeah.
And then that Saturday night, I believe we went to John's house, and we previewed some of the songs for our friends. They weren't very impressed.
Yeah, they kind of thought, the album release party.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk.
There's an album release party.
I forgot about that.
And then I think that kind of the rest of the recording of the album was done over the next 1 or 2 weekends. We wrapped the whole thing up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then when we were done,
there was this kid. Should I just say his last name?
Yeah, nobody.
There's too many Johns in this.
There's a lot of fucking Johns in this show.
This kid, John Stubblefield, offered to have our album. Do you know this kid?
I know the name. Now I'm like.
He's somebody I bullied.
I wish I had.
Which is funny.
Probably justifiably so. With a name like.
Going back, all right. His first year at Chelmsford High. Now this was before he became the punk rocker that we all knew and loved. But he was just this kind of like quiet kid, and like he was kind of chubby and roly-poly, and I was in gym class with him, and he was trying to like run or something, and he's waddling around, and I just used to chase him around with the badminton rackets, and I gave him a tough time, but it was funny because the year after that, he came back to school like the first day, and he had this like leather jacket with all these like huge spikes sticking out of it, and like the exploited and stuff like painted on it. And he had this huge mohawk, and it's like it was like a total transformation.
He totally rebranded himself.
Yeah.
And
my brother did that. I mean, I remember.
And in doing so, he was able to land the girl that I had been chasing for years.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's one of the reasons why I didn't dislike him. He was an alright guy.
But he offered to throw an album release party. Is that where we were going?
Yeah, but it was weird because he like charged people.
Yeah.
To go to his party.
Like it was weird.
There's
and
a cover charge. Yeah.
For anybody that wasn't in the band. So it's basically, charging our friends to come to this party.
To get...
Which there wasn't, like, booze or anything at it.
No.
And, like, there was a pinball machine. I remember they had an Indiana Jones pinball machine, which I played a lot that evening. And, it shows you, like, what my priorities are in my life. Like, I like pinball a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
And I suck at it, though.
I'm really bad at it. In fact, I was going to have a solo project after TNS that I never did anything with.
Yeah,
I don't think I even knew about this.
It was going to be called Pen 15.
Oh, yes, I do remember that. I do remember that.
Hey, write Pen 15 on your hand, and then you're a fan. But yeah, and then the first album that I was going to release was going to be called I Suck at Pinball. Even though I'm actually I really like playing pinball.
You're just not good at it.
I've actually gotten better over the years, but back then I was really bad. And it's weird because my dad is really good at pinball. I remember.
Does he hate pinball?
No, he doesn't hate pinball.
That'd be better.
He hates it, but he's just so damn good at it.
So good at it. Yeah.
No, there was this. There was a time, I think there was a long time ago, where he got laid off.
What if there's something that you're really good at, but you don't even realize it because you hate it so much, but you could make millions of dollars doing it, but you'll never know because you don't even consider it because you hate it. It's like, I'll never do that. I hate it. But if you did do it, you could be so successful.
So that's just reason why anybody out there listening right now should do whatever people ask them.
Don't follow your dreams. Your dreams suck, and you'll never be good. You'll never succeed at it. So
just try everything.
Do something you hate.
Do something you hate, and then maybe you're good at it. All right. So my dad got laid off once. I think it was a summer, and it was back when the Dream Machine.
I feel like we should have had the NBC thing. The ba-dum bum bum. The more you know.
The more you know. Don't follow your dreams, idiots. So yeah, my dad got laid off over the summer, and he it was back when the Dream Machine was still at the mall, at the Pheasant Lane Mall in Nashua.
Oh, that girl. Sorry.
Did she used to work there?
Taylor. Oh my God.
Was she an attractive lady?
Yeah. All right, come on.
Nice gams. All right, so my dad got laid off, and so part of to make it so he didn't go nutso while he's looking for a new job, he would go up to the arcade at the mall and play the Addams Family pinball machine. Because he was a fan of playing pinball.
Of the Addams Family, obviously.
Well, that was, I think that is the most popular pinball machine ever.
Huh. Okay.
Somebody can email us and say you're an asshole, you don't know what you're talking about.
hot@clarkwoods.com.
We have a couple of those for later. So yeah, I was, he would just go there and to become the grand champion on a pinball machine is not an
easy feat.
Yeah, you have to have a really good score, and there's a lot of pinball finesse that I've just learned about that my dad just had come naturally, because there's. It's just and he was the grand champion on that machine, and I'm like
a pinball wizard.
Well, if you're ever in southern New Hampshire, take the time to go to see the Pinball Wizard, which is an arcade up there, which has lots of old pinball machines. One of which is the Addams Family machine. I don't think it was the one that my dad had the grand championship of. But yeah, it was a pinball machine nonetheless.
So what time, when was he there? Was that during the time period that we were going to the Dream Machine a lot to play Street Fighter 3? Like, was there a chance
It might have been around the same time.
We could have seen your dad at the arcade?
I think
that would have been weird.
It could have been the same time, but my dad was going in
during the day.
During the day when we were at school.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was not the same time because we're...
So you would have been in trouble if
I had seen my dad at the arcade, I'd been like, fuck. Sorry, Pops. Maybe you should get a job.
I'm pretty sure we did stop in there during the day a few times.
Yeah, there was a number of times that we skipped school, which was so like, you know, thank goodness for my Pops. I slept in. Can I get a note?
Yeah.
In other words, I intentionally slept in, and then we went into the city.
And it's not like, I'll just drive you to school late. It's like, you're already late, so just...
My dad and my stepmom would go to school would go to work before I even left. Before I had to go to school, so it would be like, even though I could easily have walked to school.
Yeah, you lived about a quarter mile from I lived a little further, so I did that a lot. Oops, missed the bus. Like, I would actually, I would get ready for school and everything and just kind of walk really slow to the bus stop. And then, in the distance, I see the bus kind of driving away like,
well. Well, I guess I better stay home for today.
Yeah, it's too long a walk. It's really I might get sun exposure.
So for some or no reason, after we recorded that first album, after we released it, and then we had like we sold it to basically people we knew.
Yeah, I don't know how John Stubblefield got a hold of it because he was somebody that a few of us knew, but I don't think any of us
He was in
really
our American Studies.
Okay.
He was in our American Studies class, which is probably why he knew about it, because like Garen, me, Will, and Paul were probably talking about it constantly because we got this fucking amazing shit album that we just recorded. And so he was just like, oh, let's just have that party there. And it wasn't great.
No. It was really funny because it was kind of us and our friends and him and his friends, and it was like a middle school dance where like the boys are on one side of the room and the girls are on the other side of the room, so it's like the two groups didn't really intermingle very much, and then like but we put the album on. He didn't even have like a stereo or anything.
We just had it on like a boombox,
which made it
even
sound
worse
even
than it was.
Than it was. Nobody, like, as soon as like the first 10 seconds of Hot Pants started up, people just tuned out. It's like, all right, this sucks. We're not going to listen to this. We're just going to sit in the corner and talk to each other.
I think I played more pinball.
And then, eventually we all found our way upstairs to his living room, and he had, one of those little metal fans on the floor to try to circulate some air, keep things cool. And we proceeded to throw potato chips and peanuts into it so that it would spray them all over his living room. And that's all I remember of that night.
There was something that we were talking about last week that it was actually something that Will brought into my brains, was just shitty things you did when we were younger. And he had brought something up on Twitter called Upstairs Darts.
Yeah, I remember that. I follow Will on Twitter, so I read all his tweets.
We Paul's folks had a place in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, and we would go up there occasionally, and then they had a dartboard downstairs. And one time, like, Paul and his dad went like skiing, and we were there just like fucking around, and we're like, oh, let's play upstairs darts. Well, how do you play? Well, you point at something and then you throw a dart at it.
Wait,
while
like
you're
up the stairs? Or no,
well, like the dartboard was downstairs.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so everything else was upstairs.
Right. So you went upstairs with the darts.
And they're like, oh, there's a mushroom tapestry, throw a dart at it. Oh, there's a ceiling fan, throw a dart at it.
Oh.
Let's turn the ceiling fan in and then dodge darts that are flying off of it.
Remember those weird mushroom like salt and pepper shakers that they had?
Yeah.
And Tsubasa would hold it up to his crotch and be like, I have a disease. Like there were these really like grotesque looking like 70s style psychedelic.
My parents had the
red
goddamn
mushroom
same things.
Ugh.
And like my friends Ryan and Beth have like the similar cookie jars that have the mushrooms and shit.
That's weird.
Was Paul's mom around?
No.
Okay, no, so she was not around.
It was just us bucking around,
Putting lots of tiny holes into the walls.
I asked that because she was always so damn nice to me that I'm like thinking of you guys.
She hated me.
She might have hated me, but she was so nice to me.
I don't think she disliked me.
Yeah.
I don't.
Why?
Why? Well, you apparently did.
Well, I mean, you guys were
I had the long
throwing darts
greasy
at
hair.
tapestries. I mean, what she gave her.
Well, like she wasn't there, so.
No.
And no one knew about upstairs darts until just now.
So you recorded one album. How long did it take you to record the second? Like, when did you start?
Well,
thinking about the second album?
we pretty much decided like, hey, let's keep this going. Let's
ride this train all the way to the bank.
Let's start a new album. And at that point, so when did the rift between Paul and Will start? That was over that summer.
I wish Paul was here
I know.
because I wanted to get his side of that story.
That was during that summer because I remember we were trying to hang out with Yucko and various other people, and Paul would kind of show up, and we tried our best to avoid him. And I had no. Paul has always been one of my best friends. If you're listening, Paul, it was just a thing. Like you and Will didn't get along, so
there was just like
I was
this
there.
weird
I went
rift.
along with it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things from that era was Yucko was having a party.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of people that stayed upstairs, but all the rest of us went downstairs and hid from Paul because of the Paul-Will rift.
Yeah.
And there was 2 phone lines at Yucko's house. And we would occasionally call Yucko from the downstairs and be like, is he still there?
Oh, God.
And one of my favorite quotes from Yucko ever was, we're watching Singled Out. I don't know why he's not leaving.
Yeah, we would. Oh, it was so bad. We would purposely make whatever we were doing as unfun as possible. So Paul would kind of be like, "All right, well this sucks. I'm gonna go home."
Jesus, wow.
But the thing is, he just stayed, and then the rest of us just left, and we walked around Carlisle for the rest of the night.
And there was that one time. I don't know if this was the same time that you called Yucko on the phone, but I remember we were all hiding in kind of a back room in Yucko's basement, hiding from Paul, and he found us. And we all ran out the back, and we jumped in Yucko's car, and we sped off 100 miles an hour in reverse.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Yucko's car.
And Paul was chasing
It was
us.
your brother's car.
Yeah, the black celebrity.
And then, so Paul was following us, and John went down this street, and
It was somebody's dirt driveway. It was dirt and rocks, and it was only one car wide.
And then so John basically drives on the guy's freaking lawn, and peels out and drives around Paul to get away from him, and then we eventually lost him. But I don't know how we eventually lost him, because we eventually went to John's house. And we're I don't know how we didn't figure out that we were there, but
I don't know.
Yeah, there were really only a limited number of places that we would go. To.
But it was just we lost him somehow.
Yeah.
But it was just this weird.
That is, I don't know what to say about that. You guys.
It was kind of weird and uncomfortable because I was friends with Paul. I was friends with Will. I didn't want to pick sides.
Yeah.
So one of them was. So I'm imagining you guys started making the second one without Paul.
Yes,
Okay.
Paul was the person that was ejected from the band, and
which
Tsubasa technically because he moved back to Japan.
Yeah.
But what's really weird is I don't remember who it was that we borrowed the drum set from, but when we first started recording Psycho's Bar Mitzvah, we brought the drum set to Paul's basement. And I remember playing the drums there and doing some recording. And I remember the look on Paul's mom's face when she came down the stairs into the basement and saw a drum set there.
Can't even
She
imagine.
was not happy about it. And she was just she said something kind of along the lines of, "Oh, drums."
And then I think we recorded most of the rest of the drum tracks in Will's
garage.
Yeah.
Or I remember I recorded a lot of drums like for Luxury Space Station, and the second version of Get Feral with Me I did in my house in Pepperell. I recorded the drums onto tape on a boombox, which we then digitized, and to get the maximum sound quality out of it.
Which we tried to get as poor as quality it could be.
Part of the experience.
Yeah.
Which amazingly
part of the aesthetic.
Which amazingly the production on Psycho's Bar Mitzvah did sound better than Hot Pants.
Well, there was the original recording of Get Federal with Me. There was a couple of verses where we could not hear you singing at all, and then we were like, "Okay, cut, print, perfect." We were like Ed Wood.
It's like you take a vocal track and you paste it into the music, you play it back, you hear it. You would think to yourself, like, "Oh, I cannot hear the vocal. It's not loud enough. I'll raise the volume on the vocal." But we didn't. We just left it.
We just left it that way, and it's just garbage. Like, I mean, the song isn't bad up until that point.
Yeah.
But...
And then one of my...
just, like, there's supposed to be a voice, but there's not.
One of my favorite parts about that, though, is I don't know how many people actually caught on to this because, we didn't have that many listeners in the first place and you couldn't hear the verse. But in one of our TNS newsletters that we came out with, it referenced...
I forgot you guys had a newsletter.
It referenced a line from the inaudible verse and said something like... Your bitch baby, I've got the proof. A familiar line from Get Federal with Me, but it was not familiar because
no one
not
actually
hear
could hear it. Well, we knew it because we wrote the newsletter.
And in that newsletter, I always thought there was an irony to that always just made me crack.
We actually the funny part
familiar.
The funny part is about most of the newsletter, and I don't think we wrote any of it.
We didn't? I wasn't involved because I had already
I think
graduated
Garen wrote a
school.
little bit of it, but I think his cousin
JP
JP wrote most of the newsletter.
That's funny.
Which we distribute. Okay, so like we had this list that people got on, and then like we would have like
Did you mail it, or did you
no.
hand it
There
to
was
them?
like these like mailboxes in like the houses at Chelmsford High School.
Yep.
And so basically we would put them in the different homerooms, like mailboxes, and just like so they would get them from like us, and so we got these newsletters at the school, and it was just like, what? And so we only released 2 of them, but like it was basically before Psycho's Bar Mitzvah, which was the second album, came out.
Yeah.
We had all these
we kind of used it as a promotional tool.
You guys actually had like a marketing plan.
Yeah. I guess we're
Maybe if we paid more attention to the music, which we tried.
We did try to put more attention to the music, which was the eventual downfall of the band.
So when we started recording Psycho's Bar Mitzvah, I guess I sort of took a creative lead. I tried to, I don't know if it was forcefully or not, but I decided that, okay, I'm going to try to lead this band.
Yeah.
And
This ragtag group.
be a creative force behind it, and I'm gonna motivate these guys, and we're gonna step it up. And
because did you guys ever bring the drums over to my house?
yes, yes, we did.
Because I somehow recall like being home from college one weekend, and you and the drums. I don't recall any recording, but I like maybe practice for a recording or something.
Well, we didn't have practice for live
I
shows.
don't know.
We didn't practice. We just
did.
I recall Dan and the drums at my parents' house. That's what I recall.
Yes, that did
From that
happen at
period.
least once.
So Psycho's bar mitzvah, and then
We added your brother to the band. He was our guitarist.
because he joined because Subasa was gone.
Yeah, we needed somebody who could play guitar, and your brother
It
sort of felt that.
What did we count? Like he played a total of 6. He played a total of 6 individual notes on the entire album.
Hey, but you gotta.
But there was
get
a
somewhere.
song where like he was supposed to play the guitar, but then we took like the bass that Will had played and turned it into sort of sounding like guitar.
There was.
We're sorry,
One
John.
of my favorite things. One of the songs that we did was supposed to have guitar and bass. Essentially playing the same thing because we weren't that musically creative. But Will played his bass part, John played his guitar part, and then when we went to mix the song together, the guitar just, for whatever reason, just didn't quite sound right.
Yeah.
So if they had been playing it at the same time, maybe.
So we didn't tell John or anything, but when the song was done, and we played it back, he was like, "What? I played guitar there. What happened to my guitar part?" And Will was like, "It sounded dumb." And that was it.
Oh, the sensitivity of teenage boys.
Oh yes,
It sounded dumb.
but a bunch of regular sweethearts.
So my thing with Psycho's bar mitzvah was like, all right,
I came up with the album title. Thank you.
Yeah, very, very well done.
Let's see if we can make songs, like real songs. We have the drums now.
Yeah.
Which was the only thing. There was a misconception with Hot Pants that we didn't have any instruments. That's not true.
We did have a guitarist.
We
who was
had
Japanese.
We had everything except for drums. So in Psycho's bar mitzvah, we got the drums, which I could play a little bit. I could keep a steady beat. That was about it. Nothing too technical. So we had drums, and it's like, all right, let's be a band. Let's see if we can make real music.
Yeah.
So originally the idea was that we were going to do about, 10 or so songs that were all like real songs with full instrumentation.
Yeah.
We started that process. We got, I don't know how many songs in we got, but it was more difficult than we thought.
It's a little rough.
Yeah, you know what?
So then at that point, I don't remember if this was a democracy or if it's just something that I decided, but it's like, okay, we cannot make a full album of real songs. So, our first album, Hot Pants, a lot of it was just kind of singing over demo songs on the keyboard.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's do that again. We'll have some songs that are real songs. We did 6 of them.
Yeah.
We called those the meat.
I somehow recall.
Then we
part of it.
did the keyboard demo songs, which we called canned goods because it was canned music from the keyboard, which we sang over. And then we had the little comedy bits
like
and things, the little interludes and
which
stuff.
was more from us, the second album, than stuff that we had gotten from other places.
A lot of the little bits in between songs. Hot Pants had a structure where it was like song, little
Silly
in between
thing.
bit, song, little bit, songs, and so on.
Right. Yeah.
On Psycho's bar mitzvah, they were more interspersed. Everything was just kind of spread out.
Yeah.
But like the thing that we did, which I think is really great, that shouldn't be understated, is that we made improv songs.
We did.
Basically, we had general ideas of what we wanted to do.
The canned songs on Hot Pants were all pre-written. We wrote the lyrics on Psycho's bar mitzvah. We did improv on them.
Yeah.
So we set things going and then we recorded a song.
Did you guys give yourself kind of like a with the first one you had done it over the course of a couple weekends. With bar mitzvah, did you purposefully say we're going to get it done?
Oh no.
We
thought it would write itself and we could finish almost as fast. We knew it was a little more ambitious than Hot Pants, but we figured, we'll whip this one out and we'll be good.
Yeah.
it took a long time.
Yeah.
And it was just because Garen was hard to get a hold of because he had sort of
Cousins?
controlling parents that wouldn't let him
I remember.
hang out whenever. And then, you know, it being a more ambitious project, really, and the equipment and software that we were working with was really limiting. It made Will very angry because he was the guy that was mixing all that together and everything, and it was kind of demanding more from him than he could actually do.
Right.
Not to his own fault, but
but based on the hardware and the software that he had access to in 97 or
anytime
98?
96 is when we were
97.
doing
Well, we started in 96, yeah.
But it actually got released like my
97.
senior year,
Yeah.
which would have been 1997.
So anytime that we had, we had planned to do some recording sessions, like Will was always kind of just like, he didn't want to do it at all. It was a pain in the ass. And I remember one time I was supposed to pick you guys up after school, and we were going to go to Will's house and record. And I remember it was like at the end of school, and everybody kind of came out to the front of Chelmsford High to go home or get on the bus or whatever. I met you guys out front, and Will was like, I don't want to do it today. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Why? He's like, I don't feel like it. I'm like, well, why not? We got to do some recording today. He's like, I don't feel like it. And I was like, okay.
Gotcha.
Well, he was just a grouchy pants.
Yeah. And
Well,
we were burning him out.
Yeah, I mean, I remember trying to make music around that same time, and it was a frustrating experience. Because you would
have took a play from our book and just not done it.
And just because of all that, like, I don't really have very many fond memories of recording Psycho's Bar Mitzvah at all. It was not fun. Which was what the whole point of
I think
was fun to do.
Recording bits of Mow Your Lawn was fun.
Yeah. There were some fun moments.
And because, so much so that we put a track of me fucking up a bunch of singing Mow Your Lawn. And but, other than that, it was just like...
There was a lot more of, Garen recorded this bit at his house, I recorded this bit at my house, and we bring it together. There wasn't much of a band unity.
When you guys, when Garen recorded TNS Rock, which was supposed to be like our giant song, with all of us participating and whatnot. But it just ended up being one of the canned songs. Yeah. And there's a certain part in the song where I don't know if it was Dan or Garen or both starts cracking up hysterically because there was
Garen had a noodle on his shirt. It was so weird. Just a random noodle. I don't even remember if he was eating noodles before.
He just had a noodle on his shirt.
He just had a ramen noodle on his shirt.
Mid-song, and he's performing the vocal on it. Mid-song, he looks down and notices the noodle on his shirt. He just kind of throws it like that, and I'm like, yeah, get rid of that. We just started cracking up in the middle of the song. And it's like, I don't know, should we redo that?
No, why would we?
We really...
So, in the middle of that song, there's a part where they're both hysterically laughing for no reason. But if you listen to it and you're listening to this right now, you're like, oh, that's the part where he had a noodle on it. Yeah.
This is the director's cut.
Towards the end, we definitely started...
Commentary.
We definitely started half-assing it and just cutting corners. It was just let's just finish this thing. Yeah. And then...
that live performance that we had on the Adam DeYoung show on Chelmsford Cable Access Television. My favorite quote is from Garen. And he's like, I really want to get this album done. It's really dragging on. I hope Garen listens to this podcast so we can be like, oh...
It was. I think we're gonna have to do a 3-part.
No, we're not. We don't have to do a 3-part.
Well,
we're basically to the end of
basically the end, but we had
what
obviously
about TNS Present?
Yeah.
Well, the TNS Present still exists.
Yeah. All in all, Psycho's Bar Mitzvah did have some good stuff on it.
It had some good songs. It had way too much
sounds. It had way too much filler on it, which again I take the blame for because We didn't have enough good material, but we had all this other recorded material, and it was just kind of like, well, we need to fill this space, so let's just put it on there anyway.
Yep. That's John Martin and I have had this conversation. And it's my contention that with our band, like, we tried to record a 6-song demo. If we had tried to record, because we had 3 vocalists, 3 songwriters, and we each wanted 2 songs. But if we had done something just as simple as cutting it down to 3 songs instead of 6 songs and focusing, it still probably wouldn't have been that great, but it would have been better, because we each had Andy Hicks, who was our guitar player, he had 2 great songs. John had 1 good song and 1 song, and I had 2 songs. I didn't write my good songs until after we recorded our fucking demo, which always made me mad because we don't have any recordings of when I actually finally wrote a listenable song.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. Well, this is part 2.
This is part 2, and I think we've proved that it's. I think it's gone well. So I think we should revisit.
Okay, so
do we have to stick to an hour? Because we have to talk about the Ape's Choice. I mean, that's a whole nother chapter.
We can talk about it a little bit.
We don't need an hour for it. But.
So. What I would like is, like, anybody that is out there listening that is curious about any specific questions that they have, send us an email at
hot@clarkwoods.com.
And then we can answer. We can do this again. We can get back in this room and we'll sit and we'll talk. We'll have a part 3 of the TNS cast, I guess. So yeah, the Ape's Choice was a labor of love, mostly of Dan, and with some help from me.
Yeah. I tried to get as much participation from all of the original members as I could. Unfortunately, not too many people were willing to do that. So Steve, as always, was. Over the years, Steve was the one that kind of championed the band in the way that I was kind of embarrassed by the music that we made, and I wouldn't really play our tapes for people. Steve always would.
I used to play it on my college radio show all the time. I would play Dildogram almost every week.
So to sum up the Ape's Choice in a nutshell, I guess, was what I wanted to do was I wanted to take the mindset that we were in during Hot Pants.
Yeah.
And try to turn the songs that really sucked into something that resembled music without losing the original integrity of the song. I didn't want to change it too much. I didn't want to change the structure or anything. I wanted to make something that sounded like if we knew what the hell we were doing in 1996, this is what we might have come up with.
Yeah.
So in doing that, I tried to use as many of the original tracks as I could.
Yeah.
Which was hard to do because a lot of it, was all, all
you
the
don't
tracks.
Really have the original tracks.
No, he has the original tracks, but
no, I mean not the original guitar track, vocals.
You have the original track, but you don't have you have no way to.
So if I
parts.
could, some of the songs have the guitar part isolated or something, so I could take that and use it.
Right.
A lot of the times I couldn't do that, but I did it whenever I could.
Yeah. It's I've listened to, I don't know if I've gotten to listen to the whole thing, but I remember listening to some of it when we were trying to pick out what the intro music to the podcast was going to be, and I feel like you got there, like you totally captured the spirit of what the early stuff sounded like, but in a way of somebody who's obviously learned how to do music a bit better over the years. And it's
more than a bit.
Yes. Even as I was saying that, I was like, that sounds like a backhanded compliment, which is not what I meant it to be. No, it's somebody who knows how to do music now, taking the spirit of people who were in their high school years, and bringing it into something that's listenable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I originally hoped that maybe we could do a handful of new songs, but again, with kind of not everybody wanted to participate, really only one new song was all that was really feasible at the time, but I love the way it came out. I think we did a great job.
I really like the way that it was, it was. I like the way that it was written. I like the way we recorded it. I like the way it sounds.
It was fun to do.
Yeah, it was back. It was old school TNS.
Even though it was really just the two of us, it still had that feeling to it. So I think that it fits in perfectly.
Us sitting in a room laughing and having fun for an afternoon instead of the Psycho's bar mitzvah years of us
is
being
really the whole
angry
point
about
of doing any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like if it's not fun, why do? Life is too damn short. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Do you want to do the emails?
Should we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the email. So, as we've said, you can.
This is going to be a
us.
slightly longer part two. Or the part two is going to be slightly longer
It's
than
only by a few minutes.
Yeah. So we mentioned you can reach us at hot@clarkwoods.com, and we have two messages following up on previous episodes
And
today.
if you'd
and
like
how
to,
much of a moron I am.
if you'd like to hear more Dan Reynolds, let us know.
Yes, absolutely. I got to tell you, I think we're going to bring Dan back no matter whether you liked it or not, because I liked it.
And we won't talk about a band that nobody's ever heard of.
Well, no, we'll talk about my band.
Yes, I
Which
would like
nobody's
to
ever
do
heard
that
of.
because I have questions
if we can
for
get
you.
John on,
If we can get John on, it'll be
Absolutely.
it'll be a good one.
all right. So
This is the first one. This is from Beep. Its subject is Neutral Milk Hotel and Robert Jordan.
Okay.
And
Who's Robert Jordan?
You want to chime in?
he's the author of the book series I'm currently reading.
Okay.
So you feel free to chime in at any point.
I will.
I don't read books. I don't know.
I'm convinced. So this is Beep telling us this. I'm convinced that Robert Jordan is the reason people are worried about George R.R. Martin dying before he finishes Songs of Ice and Fire, which is by far a superior book series.
Well, I don't disagree. I haven't read the books, but I've enjoyed the series on HBO. But Robert Jordan, if you're not aware, died right after writing the 11th book of his series.
Just right there's a warning sign.
So what's actually going on here? Is this like a pissing contest? Like I like better books than you do, or what? Like, what's
I know. He's no, I think he's just trying to say that why is Steve bothering? Yeah, it's a pissing contest. Why is Steve bothering with Robert Jordan?
Yeah, why are you reading shitty books when you could be reading this
We just talked about how life
series?
is too damn short to read.
God damn it, Bleep.
No, he's Beep. Bleep will be somebody else.
Oh, good.
He's
Well,
Beep.
Beep. Whatever. I read the first 10 books of the series.
This is what we call sunk cost
The
fallacy.
first 10, didn't you say there were 11?
No, there's 14.
But still, you
I'm
got
going to
through
introduce
10,
you to
but not
a
the
concept
last.
called sunk cost fallacy, and it's the idea that you have to finish something because you've already invested so much in it. You don't.
The problem is that the first couple of books are really great.
Okay.
And I'm on the second one right now, and I'm going to mention a tweet from earlier that I got. I was messaging a friend of mine, Gina, and I said, I'm reading The Great Hunt again, and I'm about 150 pages in. And she's like, I'm about 150 pages into your mom, #The Great Cunt.
See, that's funnier than probably anything you're going to encounter in Robert Jordan, from what I get.
Well,
anyway,
it's not a humorous book.
Okay, all
but
right,
it's a fantasy serial.
Syria. Yeah.
But yeah, fuck you, friend.
Beep. He's Beep. All right, I'm going to try and correct a lot of what you got wrong about Neutral Milk Hotel because you basically got everything. This is the super abridged version.
Good.
So, number 1, mid to late 90s band, but only for their second album. The first album is more of a collection of people playing with frontman Jeff Mangum. They later reunited in the past few years. Number 2, they had 2 albums. Their first was On Avery Island, which happens to be a record.
Did I mention how many albums they had?
No, you didn't. He is...
I'm sorry, emailer, but this is boring.
I think we owe it to him to get through... Do we? I don't know.
No.
Which happens to be a reference to the island of Louisiana where Tabasco is made.
Oh my God.
Interesting. And
I do like hot things, so...
and their second
I did do a
was
podcast called Hot Sauce Enema.
In the Airplane Over the Sea.
And hot. Now.
Yeah.
Number 3. In the Airplane Over the Sea was number 4 on Pitchfork's best albums of the 90s. So I think
Oh, Pitchfork! Oh, they're the ultimate authority on
the ultimate
they
arbiter
have such
of
good
taste.
taste. Oh my god.
Number 4, the sound from one album to number 2 album changes from much more fuzzy rock music to more acoustic and orchestrated.
So sort of like the New Sweethearts from their first and second.
But not like Iron and Wine. There is no finger plucking, but that was a better comparison than, quote, to New Wave. All right. So apparently one of us said they were too new.
I assumed, like, from the name
Oh, that they were too new.
that they were new wave.
Number
I never had heard them before.
Okay,
I have heard
We're
them
dragging
a
out
little
this
bit.
boring, apparently boring email. If you just let me finish it, we'd be done.
Listen,
And
you fuck. Finish the email.
number 5, they fizzled out in the late 90s to early aughts. He said 00s, I said aughts. I'm sorry if that offends you.
I
Number
like
6, there is a really quick, this is a really quick list. This was a really quick list. But the 33 and a third book on the album is quite good, and we'll link to that in the show notes. And a bonus fact, Hawk and the Hacksaw is a band that is related to Neutral Milk Hotel, which is close to Fox and the Fiddle.
Oh, which is the place that I sang karaoke in Canada. Next email.
Subject of the next email, this will be bleep, whereas the previous email was beep.
Bleep.
Hi guys, I'm the woman Steve's buddy rear-ended in Toronto. I enjoyed listening to the recounting.
I don't think I even have to say anything.
No.
We're all thinking the same
We
thing at
are
the
all
exact
thinking-
same moment.
Oh, God.
Yep.
We're sorry, bleep. I enjoyed listening to the recounting of this incident in episode 10. I thought I would offer my services with some commentary and friendly Canadian fact-checking on some of the topics discussed in the episode. Number 1, Steve, I'm sorry the beer you drank your first night in Toronto was Molson Canadian, or as we like to call it, rat piss.
Oh.
Molson
That's what I
Canadian-
drank
Kind of like
most
an
of the
Narragansett.
Yeah, well, I'm drinking lovely Rhode Island.
He is drinking the equivalent, the New England equivalent of rat piss right now.
Because I'm classy like that.
Molson Canadian, I guess, would be like the Canadian equivalent of something like Bud or Coors Light. No, it's Narragansett.
Or Narragansett.
No offense to those who like it, but there are better options available at most bars that are still relatively cheap.
Such as?
Next time you're in Canada, I recommend Rickard's, owned by Molson, Alexander Keith's, Mill Street, or Creemore. Many more options are listed here, too.
Thanks, Bleep.
Yes. To clear up any confusion about the roads, the highway the collision occurred on was the Queen Elizabeth Highway. The Queensway is a smaller street slightly north of that.
Which is the way into Toronto.
Right. The road that was closed and causing all the havoc was the Gardner Expressway.
Oh, fuck me.
Which is always under construction and is the bane of everyone's existence. Kind of like Mass Ave. There was indeed construction everywhere. In the Greater Toronto area, we are fond of saying we have 2 seasons, winter and construction. In the area the collision occurred in was she says how to pronounce it.
Mississassis.
Mississauga.
Mississauga. There we go.
Mississippi with aga in the middle, at the end instead of ippy.
I don't know if that's if the Little Caesars we went to was in Mississauga, but
Glad to hear you had a good time at the Fox and the Fiddle. After we parted ways that day, I was a little worried I'd led you astray because while they do have karaoke, it's not every night, and when they're not doing karaoke, the Fox doesn't have much going for it. Which I think you mentioned. Didn't you go to like a different bar?
No, we went to the Fox and then we went to a different bar.
That's what I'm saying.
And we because we had lunch at the Fox and then we went and we saw the homeless guy that was anti-Semitic.
Not a hobo.
Not a hobo, mind you.
Call back to last.
And then
episode.
we went back and they were doing karaoke.
Okay. It's
So what's a
fine.
vagrant?
The same thing as a homeless person.
Okay.
Okay. It's fine, but nothing special. In retrospect, I should have sent you to Gladstone on Queen West. Would have been more geographically convenient for you. For the record, probably my favorite bar in Toronto, although it's not super easy to get
Snot?
to. Snot.
You might think it's super easy to get to, but it's not.
Book
is say what? Like the French say what? C apostrophe EST. Say what? Huge beer selection, many of them amazing, really good food and live music, but the kind you can still talk over.
Nice.
I think that's all the commentary I have for the moment. It was nice meeting you, Steve, even in the context of a 5-car pileup. And I've been enjoying the podcast. Keep up the good work, guys, and happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well,
Boxing Day.
When is that in October?
I think, well, this email was sent... Yeah, it is. I think.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
right around now.
Their Thanksgiving's in October. Ours is in November.
Yeah, theirs is right around good old Columbus Day, which
is this
which is
weekend.
when we recorded last week's.
Oh yeah, fuck you. We're having a time skip.
Yeah. Well,
So you guys pen pals now?
Sort of. Yeah.
You should write her a letter.
Like a real letter?
Yeah.
I'll have to get her like for real's address. I'll just go on Twitter and be like, "What is your for real's address? I'm going to send you a letter."
She would really like that.
Because
all right.
People like letters.
I'm going to send you a letter, bleep.
Oh, I love getting mail.
I like getting mail that's not junk mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? I'm going to send you a letter, not a letter. I'm going to send you a tweet that's asking for your for realsies address, and I'm going to send you a for realsies letter. Bleep.
This,
I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to ask you later.
I'm going to do it.
We are like connecting people in this disconnected world. I think we're doing good.
She's going to be like, "You have the worst handwriting ever."
We are doing the Lord's work.
I tried to write in cursive the other day. The only thing I can write in cursive is my name. Other than that,
it just turns into gobbledygook.
I had no idea what I was doing.
I almost thought we could have ended on that laugh. I wrote in cursive the other day. That was pretty good. I can't think of anything funnier than
We don't have to end on
I know we didn't end on a laugh last week either.
I mean, well, there was
last week.
Yeah.
Just end it.